Hello everyone, this is Professor Hill. This is a short video for our class Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College. This is the online version of the class for the fall 2018 semester. And today is Tuesday the 13th of November. We're in week 12. And because week 13 is Thanksgiving, our next assignment's not due until the end of that week, just to give you plenty of time, and I know there's the holidays. So it's due Sunday night, November the 25th. So we got plenty of time to work on your essay for discussion number 7, which is the last one we're going to be doing. So this is it. We're going to have this one last 500-word essay. Turn it into the discussion just like we've been doing. Comment on at least 2 of your classmates' work. And then the last thing will be the final exam. And so that's all we've got. And we'll be wrapping this class up. So you want to try to bring everything to bear on this last essay. I think it'll be a good opportunity for you to talk about a lot of the concepts that we've looked at over the course of the semester, because this is an interesting and difficult case study. This is the one of Cassandra C. And it kind of harkens back to the very first case study we had with the Jenny Lake case, in that there are some similarities. Cassandra was a 17-year-old girl when she found out she had cancer, just like Jenny Lake. Like Jenny Lake, she refuses treatment, refuses the chemotherapy. Now, that's where these stories diverge, and they are very different and interesting stories to compare and contrast, and also to which to apply the moral theories that we've been looking at over the course of the semester. So, again, just to recap, you can see this at the assignment in the discussion area on the case of Cassandra C. It turns out she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, but given a very good prognosis, which was, look, this is serious. You got cancer. Without it being treated, it can be fatal. But with chemotherapy, we've got lots of experience, lots of good practice with this. You know, your chances are 85 degrees or better that we can get you into remission, or you won't be showing any signs of the cancer 5 years after your treatment if you do this chemotherapy. It's effective. It's not perfect. We can't guarantee it, but you have very, very good odds as long as we get started with this chemotherapy. Now, what's interesting is she refuses the treatment. And when she does, she refuses it on the grounds that she had done her own research, she had looked at the internet, she had found sites talking about how chemotherapy is poison, and that not to do it because these doctors are, going to kill you with this stuff. Now, she says all this to the doctors, and the doctors say, well, okay, look, here's the thing, which is, yes, the chemotherapy is designed to kill the cancer cells. And that's why there's often lots of complications from this, like people losing their hair and this kind of stuff. It's, a difficult process, but the point is to kill the cancer cells, have you survive. That we know how to do this. And she says, forget it. Now, the doctors in this case say, well, okay, but look, she's only 17 years old. She's a minor. Well, ask the mom. Let's, talk to her. It's her medical decision because, Cassandra's a minor. The mom gets in there, they explain the whole thing, and the mom says, forget it, no. And they're like, why? And they're like, well, who do you think, showed Cassandra all these websites and gave her this information and said, hey, this is dangerous. You shouldn't do it. It's poison for your body. And the doctors are like, no. Look, you got to trust us. We know what we're doing. This is her best chance. If you're looking for options to save your daughter's life, she needs chemotherapy. And the mom says, nope. Now, I got to tell you, This is where this case becomes very controversial because the doctors say, okay, well, we're just going to go on down to the Department of Children and Families and file a complaint and talk to a judge and have your daughter taken away from you so that we can force chemotherapy on her, remove her from the home, force her to go to the hospital, strap her down, force chemotherapy on her. And by God, that's exactly what they did. Now, what's interesting about this case is Cassandra, who's 17, is saying, no, 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 no. She's screaming. And there are people sympathetic to her who are saying, my God, these doctors are violating her rights. It's a medical kidnapping and they're breaking the law. They're violating her rights. This is a terrible thing. Now, and again, you got to remember, this would be pretty clear cut if the person who needs the treatment is an adult. I mean, if it's Cassandra's mom and she says, I've got cancer, I don't want the treatment, the doctors go, well, okay, it's our obligation to tell you about it and let you know what your options are. We're not going to force it on you. You're an adult. In this situation, it's completely different because the mom's making a decision for the daughter, Cassandra, and the doctors are like, listen, this woman is endangering her child. We're going to go get a court order. We're going to do this legally. And of course they do. They do this with the judge. They get the people from, the Department of Children and Families. They get the cops. And they go and serve a legal order on her. They terminate the mom's parental rights. And then take her down. And they begin the chemotherapy. Because now that the state's in charge of her welfare, they say, guess what you need? You need the chemotherapy. And people who are endangering the lives of their children are the people that we take their kids away from them to protect the children because the state's operating under the standard of what's in the best interest of the child. Man, that's a tough call, though. There's lots of factors, though, because Cassandra she's not, 10 or 11. She's 17. Which is close, but still, she's a minor. She's under 18. Now, lots of people, and again, I put links in there to some of the people that are on kind of Cassandra's side who was fighting this the whole way. And there are lots of people who are sympathetic to her. And like I said, you can see the videos, you can read the interviews, because lots of people were like, no, the doctors should not have done this. But let's be clear. The doctors did act legally. They acted within the law. They went through all the steps. And then, of course, what happened was Cassandra got the treatment. And then it ended. And when she turned 18, she was legally free to go. She was returned. She wanted to go live with her mom. She could make that decision as an adult now that she turned 18. And interestingly enough, well, let's just stop right there. I'll come back to this story tomorrow in the next video. But I do want you to walk through the questions that we raise, in the case study, in the assignment, which is that, what do you think about the decision to remove Cassandra from her home, from her mom? It's clearly legal. The question is, do you think it's moral? Do you think it was right or wrong, good or bad, and why? And again, I want you to analyze this from a consequentialist or non-consequentialist point of view. At the time the decision, the doctors are making the call, they're saying it's certainly in the best interest of this child if we remove her from a home and give her the chemotherapy because she needs it or else she'll die. That was their thinking. But it's an interesting question about, and I think an open question, about that kind of consequentialist thinking when you're weighing and balancing outcomes that you don't know for sure. You might give her the chemotherapy and she dies anyway. In this case, she didn't. It put her into remission. But you don't know that. You could not give her the chemotherapy, and again, chances are the cancer is going to spread and kill her. That's what cancer does. But are you 100% sure of that? Are you 99% sure of that? That's an interesting question. But also about, you know, do you think that we should have approached this from a more deontological point of view, a non-consequentialist point of view? Were there rules or principles that apply to this situation? And if so, what are they? There's a lot to unpack and think about. It's a complicated and interesting case, and I highly recommend the videos that I posted. So check those out. Get started. Like I said, you got plenty of time. Today's the 13th. This thing's due on Sunday the 25th. But don't forget about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's going to wipe out next week, so you're probably better off just doing it sooner rather than later, getting it posted and then not having to worry about it. But that's up to you. You can do it on the 25th. As long as you beat the deadline, I'm happy. But that's up to you. So, look, if you have questions, let me know. I think I'm caught up on most of the old back grading, and anybody that had some individual small problems, I think we got most of them are in pretty good shape as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday next week. So, but if you do have questions, let me know. And again, don't forget, start thinking about that final exam. Never too soon to keep an eye on that deadline. Take a look at it, what you need to do, what you need to prepare. Don't let that one sneak up on you, because with that, can't help you at all. That deadline, you hit the end of the class and the end of the wall. So there's no late work on that one. Anyway, take care. Talk to you again soon. All right, bye-bye.